welcome to Chief Joe's Art Stuff. My name is Julie and I'm here to impart some knowledge to you today via a 2-minute art tip. And today's tip, we're going to be talking about the term Sgraffito, and you will see it spelled out here. Yes, it is spelled weird, and no, I don't know why. It originally is from an Italian word, which could explain it, I don't know. But basically, the word originates in reference to techniques where involving either plasterwork or sometimes ceramics, where you're talking about two layers that are imposed upon each other, and then you're scratching through the top layer to reveal the bottom layer. The kind of Sgraffito that we're talking about here is not exactly the same thing. What we're talking about, what I'm going to demo for you today, is actually scratching into wet watercolor washes and creating some like really kind of magnificent line work. What I have here is a Kilimanjaro 9x12. This is a 140-pound cold press watercolor pad in a block in bright white. So we're going to use that as the paper. And what we're basically doing is we're going to abrade the surface to create a pattern in a wet watercolor wash. And I'm actually going to use this brush here, which is a Princeton Neptune number 6, because it carries a lot of water and will allow us to do this pretty quickly. And what we're going to do is wet the surface graciously and kind of like indicate where we want the color to go and where we don't want it to go by dampening the surface. And what this is going to do is kind of activate the fibers when they get wet and cause them to kind of puff up just a little bit, not a bunch. And to try and make this as easy for you to see as possible, I am actually going to use indigo. 1, because it's one of my favorite colors, and 2, because it's nice and dark and it's going to sink into these scratch lines really easily and make this easy for you to see. So we've got some American Journey watercolor. This is indigo again, and we're laying that onto the surface into this wet puddle of water already, and you can see there's some nice feathering that's going on, which basically means that the pigments are dispersing within the wet area all on their own. So there's movement taking place with the color that doesn't have anything to do with your brush, which makes you look fantastically talented, and yet you did literally not much. So one of the fun, super fun parts about watercolor. So we're going to really lay in a lot of color to looking like as dark as I want it yet, but we're going to get there. Here we go. Fire it in there, like someone amazing used to say. So we're going to get a really nice coverage of this indigo inside that already dampened area. Now, you're going to think I'm completely and totally nuts, which you would say, that's not all that uncommon. What do I have here? What is this tool? This is actually a walnut picker. This was my grandmother's, but it is perfect for this use. But you can use the ends of brushes. I've actually used like little brads, like little nails and stuff like this. I've used all kinds of different stuff, broken pencils, to do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this sharp edge and we're going to just make some lines, which is actually abrading the fibers of this paper. It's kind of like scarring the surface. And what happens is that the pigment sinks down into those little teeny scars and makes this really fascinating line. Now, do you have to do this with a super sharp surface? Nope, you don't. It depends on what kind of line you're trying to make. I like this because it gives me a lot of control. And as you know, I'm a borderline at best. And so having a little bit of control over this makes it extremely appealing to me. And as you can see, this looks like you spent a whole lot of time doing, you know, fascinating line work with a delicate brush. You did not. Now, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this. You can do really nice foliage. You can do all kinds of cool, you know, line work for executing all kinds of different kinds of shapes. I do this a lot as kind of like the first layer for some of my paintings, because sometimes what I'll do is I'll lay in like a gold wash and then do this, then put a little bit more gold in there in just some select spots where this will show up more or less. It kind of fades in and fades out. And I really like the way that it gives the background some texture, and then you have, you know, your focal point is kind of floating on the top of this. But I've just played around with this technique a lot, and I really, really love it. So try some Sgraffito. It's a very, very interesting technique. Maybe not exactly the word you would totally use in this instance, but this is the best word I know to describe it. It's basically just a scratching technique when you're scratching through layers of applied substance, paint, pigment, clay, whatever. So hope that this was useful for you, and hope that you enjoy.